Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzoi, on sign language Elizabeth Nakakuni. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Museveni, Ethiopia envoy, discussed regional priorities. UTCL transforms to drive digital access. While digital transformation roadmap unveiled, and parents to launch a mobilization effort against homosexuality. Hello once again. President Yoweri Museveni receives Ethiopia special message from the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Ahmed Abiy. The message was delivered to the President by Ethiopia envoy to Uganda, Ambassador Tay Selassie, this afternoon at State House in Entebbe. The President and the envoy discussed a number of regional issues ranging from security, economic development, as well as IGAD's role in conflict resolution in the region. The President guided on the issue of identity versus interest, saying that leaders should always look at the interest as opposed to the identity. He said that most conflicts are based on tribalistic ideas that do not benefit the people. He emphasized the importance of dialogue in solving conflicts within the region. Well, now government directors, commissioners and undersecretaries convened to deliberate on potential obstacles impacting the execution of government projects during a comprehensive assessment session hosted at the presidential office in Kampala. It was conclusively determined that reinforcing monitoring and adopting effective benchmarking practices for successful projects is imperative. Such measures are crucial for ensuring robust accountability mechanisms, thereby mitigating issues like project delays and instances of corruption.
Undersecretaries have convened to undertake a review of policy advancements and service delivery. This gathering serves to address challenges, share experiences, discuss implementations, and propose viable resolutions for the barriers affecting the implementation of government programs, policies, and projects.
Resolutions at the end of the day that are made, these resolutions end up in what we call policy briefs. And these policy briefs may be for sharing at our level for purposes of appreciation, or they can inform cabinet information papers which can be initiated by the different affected area for purposes of further management, that is at cabinet level.
Prominent among the emerging issues are persistent project delays attributed to inadequate monitoring and the government's inability to extract lessons from unsuccessful initiatives. To address these concerns, the Public Policy Executive Forum was established to evaluate and enhance coordination, fortify oversight mechanisms, and bolster government planning and budgeting, which are pivotal reforms outlined in the National Development Plan 3.
We have liked the aspect of bringing on board the non-state actors so that the civil society organizations, the NGOs, the corporate institutions should also have a hand, because
I've heard that some engineers were arrested, others are already in courts of law facing some civil suits. So all those as a result of maybe a weak monitoring mechanism, which we are now trying to say, okay, even coming at the tail end to look at the impact, maybe we need to strengthen our proactiveness.
Although the Public Policy Executive Forum has been in operation for a year, it remains dedicated to tracking the directives issued by the head of state.
We have undertaken a study on the commercialization of agriculture, the interventions that have gone into commercialization of agriculture for the period of 13 years, since 2010 to 2023. So we are trying to see what impact has come out of those interventions. We saw that about 8.8 trillion was spent on interventions into the agriculture to try and promote commercialization of agriculture. But what is it that has come out of that?
This platform plays a pivotal role in facilitating information exchange among stakeholders involved in managing the results chain. It also fosters accountability and transparency within the executive arm of government, which holds the principal responsibility for implementing decisions. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Well, the National Planning Authority has been directed to integrate the Uganda Digital Transformation Roadmap 2023-27 into the National Development Plan for being developed, and all government ministries to embrace it for Uganda to match the timelines of digital transformation. Now, at the launch of the Digital Transformation Roadmap in Kampala, Vice President Jessica Alupo expressed confidence that this roadmap will address pressing issues such as youth unemployment.
The Ministry of Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance has managed to put in place a national backbone infrastructure for internet, cut down on internet costs, unveiled a new plant for UTL, and in collaboration with telecom companies launched 5G network. This is meant to increase access to internet by the population and also improve ICT services. The ministry plans to integrate ICT to ensure it becomes part in the lives of people and what they do for effectiveness and efficiency. It has unveiled a Ugandan digital transformation roadmap that focuses on 5 pillars to monitor performance for implementation in the next 5 years.
All right. There you go. Can we give the round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? The digital transformation roadmap has been unveiled.
While unveiling the digital transformation roadmap, the Vice President, Major Jessica Alupo, said it is an integral component of Uganda's national vision and government looks at it as one which will help address the issue of youth unemployment.
It fills me with immense confidence and optimism that our roadmap addresses not only the most recent technological advancements but also the pressing issue of youth unemployment. By leveraging on the power of ICT and innovation, we intend to create new opportunities, encourage entrepreneurship, and most importantly, provide our youth with the jobs and opportunities they deserve.
A number of Ugandans have embraced the digital and technological revolution that goes on in the world, and this roadmap will help it catch up with the forthcoming industrial revolution. Emphasis is being put on digital infrastructure and connectivity.
Digital infrastructure and connectivity. We have to ensure that as we implement this roadmap, we connect the whole country from corner to corner. And we have already lined up a number of projects and programs, including laying the national backbone infrastructure to extend it to cover the entire country. So far, we have covered 53 countries and would want to cover the rest of the country, including doing last mile connections to cover health centers, schools, sub-counties, and all the government infrastructure.
The education system must evolve where technology is evolving in unprecedented space, and digital literacy is essential for career development. Achieving the human capital development aspect of the roadmap require collective efforts.
Teachers are at the forefront of this transformation, and I commend their dedication and passion in adapting to new teaching methodologies and integrating technology into the classroom. we must also engage with the private sector to align our educational efforts as a nation with the dynamic job market needs, ensuring that our students are well prepared to meet the local and international job demands.
This roadmap, if implemented successfully, will strengthen Uganda's service delivery, enhance business competitiveness, accelerate socio-economic transformation, build resilience to shocks, and achieve inclusive and sustainable growth.
Halving the cost of the internet, which is great. It is an incentive mechanism. It allows more people to be able to use internet, whether for trade, for business, for e-services. I bought a few things recently, even myself on Instagram, which means that there's e-commerce happening, and therefore if we can facilitate and provide incentives to many actors who can be able to use their mobile phones for many things, including market women that we are supporting as UNDP, for example, investment in connectivity, for example. We cannot have people who can access information on the phone, and so that
the roadmap is also anchored on a pillar of digital services, cybersecurity, data protection and privacy, digital skills and innovation and entrepreneurship. I'm Nafka Farida and Juman Samba. Income.
Now, government of Uganda has rebranded Uganda Telecom Limited to Uganda Telecommunication Corporation Limited, signaling a dynamic shift in the nation's telecommunications landscape. The unveiling ceremony held at UTCL's Telephone House, Kampala headquarters, was graced by Prime Minister Rhoda Ngonzoi, representing the Vice President Jessica Alupo. Ngonzoi emphasized that the rebranding is not just a change in name, it symbolizes progress, unity and unwavering innovation.
UTCL has unveiled its new brand identity, calling it a testament to its commitment to shaping the future of digital access in Uganda. The company's journey of rebranding is said to have been a meticulous process infused with research, development, and rigorous testing.
As we innovate and embrace new technologies, we also commit to embracing partnerships and collaborations that will give us value for money. Ladies and gentlemen, our intention is to make significant difference in the livelihood of Ugandans, and the new brand identity is part of the process.
Presiding over the unveiling launch, Prime Minister Rhoda Ngonzoi expressed immense pride in UTCL's achievements and encouraged them to elevate societal growth through this new chapter.
Businesses and bridges the gaps that enable economic growth and development. UTCL, as a government-owned entity, will not only shoulder the responsibility of providing communication services, but has also been a catalyst for development and growth across our nation.
The Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baremosi, assured UTCL's management of their priority in government operations, underlining their pivotal role in the rationalization process.
If UTCL or UTEL is going to be a formidable and robust telecom company that all of us can trust and be able to give the other telecom companies a run for their money, as the government, we must capitalize this company so that it doesn't suffer the way UTL suffered.
On his part, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance and Secretary to the Treasury, Rhoda Ngonzoi, emphasized the significance of government telecommunication companies leading communications.
Government, we shall continue to pursue industrial policy. Here we are talking of policies that stimulate specific economic activities in order to promote structural change. There is no country which has ever developed without having the state playing an active role in stimulating the various key sectors of the economy. And telecommunication is one of those strategic sectors for communication security and for ensuring that as a country which is transforming in this rapidly changing world, we are having a very good fallback position.
UTCL's emergence occurs within Uganda's telecommunications duopoly market structure, characterized by two dominant firms shaping the industry.
Now, different Myoga leaders from the Myoga parishes in Kampala have highlighted some of the challenges they experienced in recovering of Myoga funds from the beneficiaries. These, among others, include change of leadership, inadequate manpower, and the assumption of some beneficiaries that the money was a reward from the president. This was during a meeting convened at Chitante Primary School.
It is now 3 years since government rolled out the Myoga program that was intended to enhance livelihood, income and wealth creation. About 500 Myoga SACCOs were registered in Kampala and most of them received the funds in question. During a meeting with the Kampala Myoga SACCO leadership held at Chitante Primary School, some of the leaders highlighted a number of challenges that they have experienced in the program. These, among others, include low recovery rate of the funds from the beneficiaries, low savings, political influence, fights amongst leaders, and changes in leadership.
If someone wants to get a loan and you tell him or her that these are the regulations, now you become an enemy.
Many of the beneficiaries say it is a reward from the president because of the timing, while others used the money during the COVID-19 times and failed to pay back.
But some of their chairmen of Myoga SACCO in Kampala, they used that money to help their members.
According to William Chirunda, the zonal manager at Myoga Kampala, the reason for engagement with different SACCO leaders is advise them, but also help them recover the funds.
Of course, key of them is the trainings. Those we really have to continuously do it. We have to continuously build the capacities of the leaders of these SACCOs.
The resident district commissioner Kampala, Amina, while meeting the leaders, warned them against mismanagement of these funds in the name of reward from the president. She says all Myoga groups have already been given enough time to pay them and no excuse will be entertained.
I've been working with it to try and monitor, see those people who have not defaulted, those who don't want to pay, and it's their usual excuse. For us, it was little money. For us, it was COVID. For me, COVID did this ABCD. But I can assure you, whoever took that money, it's not focusing. It was a loan. Take it as a loan.
Lukanga says there has been poor performance of the Myoga program in Kampala, and this has been informed by mainly political interference.
And of course, opposition people who normally fight government programs, they found it as a way to fight it.
She says the only condition now for SACCOs to receive the other disbursements unless they present accountability for the funds received. I'm Navka Farida and Joseph Moyingo.
Another Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has urged the engineers to prioritize innovation and collaboration within Africa to exploit intra-regional business opportunities. Tayebwa was officiating at the opening of the Engineers Conference 2023 at Hotel Africana and committed towards supporting legislations for the sector.
The 2023 Engineers Conference themed Tapping Engineering Opportunities for Accelerated African Continental Free Trade Area Implementation.
The conference theme comes in timely when the African continent is seriously deliberating on various strategies towards strengthening intrastate trade under the AfCFTA in order to enhance continental development. Our engineers are determined to make their contribution towards this noble cause.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, challenged the National Institute of Professional Engineers to establish linkages with African engineers' bodies to benefit from the intra-regional construction opportunities.
Why don't we share knowledge and we set standards across the African continent? We say, for example, if we work within this standard, because the terrain most of the time is a little bit close, I would say, the cost of labor is a little bit close. Why don't we set a standard so that we stop asking these questions?
Tayebwa committed to supporting towards legislating constructive laws to facilitate thriving engineering sector.
The President returned the local content bill, and I've already instructed the committee to process it next week. Next week, we shall process that bill for the third time. And because the President has returned 2 times, when we process it next week, it will automatically become law. So, next week we are going to have the local content bill, and in that bill, we hope we are creating opportunities for you to utilize your profession and make money out of it. And this will help us so much as a government.
This bill is very significant in the sense that it will improve regulation of the profession. When you do not have a regulated profession, then you facilitate emergence of quacks. And when there are quacks, then you are likely to have substandard works, you are going to have substandard products in the market.
Ugandan engineers ask government for financial enhancement owing to the capital-intensive venture nature of the industry.
Many actors, both at political level, policy level, and even implementation level. It is important for us to reflect on what are the contents of the agreement, what is our role as engineers. For instance, you know that trade cannot take place without enabling infrastructure. And this infrastructure shouldn't just exist, it should also be sustainable. It should also be friendly to the environment, so that as we promote trade, we do not harm the environment.
By leveraging on the local continent bill, if passed into law, the local engineers are expected to benefit from local construction projects, despite competition from the flight capital inflows by foreign investors. Irene Faith Nantongo, Rogers Komagum, UBC News.
And Uganda Society for Health Scientists is promoting digital technologies for health owing to the fact that health service delivery is taking a new trend. The head of Department Psychiatry, Makerere University Professor Rhoda Ngonzoi points out that the use of digital technologies can empower people to use access healthcare using apps.
Digital health is transforming how medical care is provided and how patients receive it through the use of digital tools. The head of Department Psychiatry at Makerere University, Professor Rhoda Ngonzoi, says the use of digital technologies can help to improve patient care, especially for those with chronic illnesses. Professor Ngonzoi was speaking at the 22nd Annual Scientific Conference for Uganda Society for Health Scientists in Kampala.
Number one, in Uganda, you know that there is a lot of cost that is associated with the delivery of healthcare services. We are hoping that with the promotion of digital technologies, we will be able to access more people out in the communities and be able to provide good diagnostics even when they are very far. We help to cut out costs for people to travel to healthcare centers to receive treatment. We help to improve accuracy because now there's also, with the current trend in the improvement of technologies with the use of artificial intelligence in being as exact as one can possibly be to diagnose individuals with various illnesses within the community. And we hope that we get on board more people to be more, knowledgeable about things, using digital apps for providing them information to improve self-care even within the home without someone having to come to hospital.
Technology is making things happen and making things happen much easier. So the question is, how are we prepared as a society, as Uganda, to be part of this digital journey in order to catch up with the rest of the world? And our duty as the Ministry of ICT is to see that we translate all these technologies into real life. They don't just remain textbook technologies which we read about in the books, but also they become meaningful in our everyday life.
This therefore calls for healthcare providers to strive and gain knowledge and skills in digital health.
I think the COVID pandemic taught us that we need to rethink the way we study health, develop health programs and things like that. There's a lot of need for health technologies. So many health scientists are not aware of digital health technologies. It's not something that we usually do in our routine training. So that's why we thought, rather than the usual topics that we have, we should have really a discussion on digital technologies for health.
Uganda Society for Health Scientists is a body that brings together health scientists to share research ideas and trends with the aim to improving the country's healthcare delivery. Adiana Kuti, ABC.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Granny.
What did you do this weekend?
Well, on Friday, I went on a science trip with my classmates to Windy to see the gorillas. Then, we watched the Cup final in London. On Saturday, my friends and I met up to hunt some dragons again. Also, I taught the vacuum cleaner and the TV this new dance everyone's doing. They're really getting into it. And on Sunday, I went to bed watching the world from space.
With Airtel 5G's lightning-fast speeds and seamless connectivity, you won't believe what's next.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Uganda's oil and gas activities are undertaken in line with the updated environment legislation and benchmarked on international best practice standards, in order to continuously ensure coexistence between the oil activities and Uganda's rich biodiversity. Following the award of the Environment and Social Impact Assessment certificates for the Kingfisher, Tilenga and East African crude oil pipeline projects, various environmental and social management plans have also been developed to ensure sustainable development of the projects. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda is working with other regulatory bodies to monitor all oil and gas activities to enhance compliance and environment protection during oil activities. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
And in talking news, MTN has improved on their data voice bundles. You can now call across all networks for the same price. We've talked to several eyewitnesses on the ground, and this is what one of them had to say. Amos, did you hear about the MTN daily voice bundles? So, to join many more other Ugandans enjoying these MTN daily voice bundles, dial *100 *21 hash or use the My MTN app to start enjoying. Stay tuned for more offers from MTN.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. The Minister of State for the Elderly, Dominic Gidudu Mafwabi, has warned local government leaders who do not adhere or ensure compliance to labour laws supposed to be enforced by designated labour officers across the country. This was during a one-day training by the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, local government leaders and labour inspectors from Eastern Uganda held in Mbale on NSSF compliance process, where he was representing his senior minister, Betty Monk.
Businessman Frank Rusanganwa, who stands accused of orchestrating land encroachments and destruction of property in Kamingo, might soon face the long arms of the law to explain himself. Rusanganwa, along with the head of the Land Department Police in Kanoni District, Ewan Magola, and the LS1 chairman of Kamingo, Sula Mayanja, are also implicated in trespassing, destruction of crops, livestock, and the demolition of local homes. The Minister for Lands engaged in discussions with RDC Chasanku Charles, who had earlier dissuaded the minister from visiting, asserting that the situation was not dire. Nevertheless, Minister Mayanja, along with LC5 chairman Tumwehe Geoffrey, proceeded to the location, discovering widespread devastation of crops, particularly coffee plantations, as well as demolished houses, and reports of violence inflicted upon the residents, allegedly at the behest of the RDC and Franka Rusanganwa.
Banga mbadde wa RDC akulinde bingi era ne chairman awulidde kwatwadde naye nampe ekifaananyi nti kyonna kiri bulungi wano.
In light of these distressing findings, an individual associated with Rusanganwa was apprehended after a confrontation with the local populace, narrowly escaping further escalation. Minister Mayanja condemned the actions of Franka Rusanganwa and his associates, deeming their behavior bad. He directed the DPC and OC to apprehend all those implicated, including Rusanganwa, Magola, and Sula Mayanja.
Rusanganwa akwatiwe, Peter akwatiwe, nabo bonna bakolaganye nabo, obaye chairman 1.
During the meeting, Minister Mayanja exercised his constitutional authority, instructing the affected residents to reclaim their land. He assured them of his commitment and pledged to correspond with Minister Babalanda, who oversees all RDCs, in order to consider the removal or replacement of RDC Chasanku Charles in response to his alleged misconduct.
Ono aveewo obalina wala wayagala okumusamuseewo obatula katebe atule obaddeyo muzi.
The area chairman Tumwehe Geoffrey expressed regret for his inability to assist the residents due to security constraints imposed by the RDC and former DPC. He conveyed his apologies to the community, particularly Kamuntu Ivan Majambere, for the challenges they faced.
DPC
kukola ensobi kuba singa najja mu kiseera ekyo endaba embeera eno teyandiyongedde ate kusajjuka twandibadde tukisalira amagezi.
Museveni okulonda abantu abasaanidde obuyinza tubadde wano nga tukaaba nakaaba poliisi negamba nnimba nempandiikira IGP ne bavayo ne bagamba tulimba ettaka abantu tebabonaabona.
The contested land area, covering a square mile in Kamengo Goma district, houses more than 100 residents. As the situation unfolds, the focus remains on swift resolution and justice for those affected by these land wrangles. Crispus Arinaitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
That's the State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, calling for swift action in resolving a land dispute in Kamengo Gomba district. Now, the hearing of a case filed by Hassan Malema Birizi against General Muhoozi Kainerugaba has flopped at the High Court Criminal Division in Kampala. This follows both sides failing to make their submissions in time as directed by the court. Meanwhile, High Court in Iganga has declined to grant Nelson Arafat bail, who is on charges of murdering a one Yusuf Waiswa.
Buganda Road Magistrates Court recently granted prosecution application allowing the file in the case filed by Hassan Malema Birizi against General Muhoozi Kainerugaba to be transferred to High Court Criminal Division for review. Although the case was set for hearing, both sides failed to put their submissions in time, and the hearing flopped. Feston Singh adjourned the case to 24th August 2023 for further hearing. Prosecution is represented by Principal State Attorney Jonathan Muwaganya. Malema Birizi is the complainant in this matter.
Nze bajja tuwe unakulo banakola ensa tujalo bategeeza. Wakati mulamuza kasabina gwayo nga abiri munya, mulamuzi nga atulanga awandika, ensala ye nga atuyita nga agituwa. Naye jjajja yangu yakubajjukira kati nga abiri mu bbiri. Tugenda ku
Court to transfer the file of this case to High Court. This followed some amendments made by the complainant Hassan Malema Birizi in this file, among others adding more charges and suspects on the charge sheet. The suspects added on the charge sheet include Balamba Rugahari, Aten Andrew, Mojonyi Mwanda, Mawanda Michael, Kabanda David, Nuwagiri Michael, Lilian Abel, and Katunji Michael. Hassan Malema Birizi alleges that General Muhoozi Kainerugaba addressed a political gathering at Kololo Independence Grounds in Kampala without resigning from the Uganda People's Defence Forces, which contravenes Section 99 of the UPDF Act. Meanwhile, High Court in Uganda before Judge Bateman David has declined to grant bail to one Nelson Arafat, who is facing charges of murdering Yusuf Waiswa. Judge Bateman David, in declining to grant Nelson Arafat bail, was of the view that the offences against him were capital in nature. Nelson Arafat, through his lawyer George Isabirye, in applying for bail, told court that he had some chronic illnesses for which he needed treatment outside prison.
Yakoba kuikomera nga tuli ku police yakati abali kundwisa ku police n'abali kundwisa okuva mu ikomera ebantwalira ku court nga mvwayo nga bakozesa akagamba akakoba ntimbo honorable Mugema Peter mbo mukoirime wa jaji batema aye nga jaji yakoze nga amateeka begasana tidio bapanado yajayo
tumane bwene omuntu ono bali kujja kumweyimira kumuwa beyo ngaka ali kumalena ku emyezi omukaaga gobakoba gobogerako ate tukali kugoza kubanga omwana ono tukoba nti oba twakoma kuba nti kuwayo wabuduzi bwonka ayi wabula ni kamera edo ku nguudo twadifuna engeri bwe yayita omwana wange
so ebanga abamuliku mbona bategeere nti omuntu wakolera ekintu ekibi ife twenda bwenkanya
kuba yatulekeira omwana omuto butisaye nekyana kyakatuusa bwa myezi 3.
Prosecution alleges that Nelson Arafat on 4th June 2023, while at Camp David in Uganda town, killed Yusuf Waiswa. Court has further remanded Nelson Arafat. Deborah Namamonde, Yusuf Obo, UBC News.
With that, we take a quick break. When we return, business news.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates back to ground Sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mulch Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Sebo.
Yes?
This is the bill.
What?
Malaria testing, 10,000. Treatment, 100,000 since we put on drip.
Hey, Musao, can you read this for me? Before I brought my wife here, I'd already spent money on buying herbal medicine and drugs from the pharmacy, which didn't work.
But Sebo, the government gave out mosquito nets. Doesn't your family use them?
We got the mosquito nets, but they got holes and we didn't know what to do.
Protect your loved ones from malaria. Sow your mosquito nets whenever they get damaged to keep the mosquitoes away. Ensure all nets are tied up every morning to avoid damaging them. Ensure that everyone in your family sleeps under a treated mosquito net every night, whether it is a cold or hot season. Together, we can chase malaria out of Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Global Fund.
No more.
Welcome back. Now in business news, the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority, PPDA, says trillions of shillings being spent on infrastructure within regional cities and municipalities will continue to require monitoring through technical committees. The Manager of Performance Monitoring, Hilda Mwesigwa, says that scrutiny that entails ensuring procurement officers, accounting personnel, engineers and environmental experts within the new cities and municipalities ought to be enhanced.
10 new regional cities and over 14 municipalities that are completing a $360 million World Bank and Government of Uganda funded road infrastructure projects are now being advised to stick with stringent regulatory benchmarks that have been initiated by the lender.
Evaluation has been enhanced, contract management has been improved, the accounting officers work together, contracts committees, so there has been a lot of sharing. And annually, there have been trainings conducted for all the arms in the procurement structure, the accounting officers, contracts committees, evaluation committees, internal auditors, procurement and disposal units, user departments. So a lot of capacity building has been done.
According to the Uganda Road Fund, these new public transport infrastructures across the urban local governments, estimated at nearly 80 kilometers combined, will now require a critical maintenance system of funding.
As far as livability, environment is concerned, it's been a major improvement in most of the cities where they've done these USMID projects. And we commend them for the program. And I think, as I said before, we just need to make sure it's sustainable and have a follow-on program to ensure that the infrastructure does not collapse. Because if there's no follow-up program, within 5 to 10 years, that beautiful infrastructure that we're seeing now would collapse.
The Directorate of Urban Planning within the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development is emphasizing that the new cities are now expected to enforce the new physical planning parameters in order to achieve the pillars expected of modern urban settlements.
If you are going to select anything for implementation, any infrastructure, be it road, be it economic infrastructure, it must be according to the plan. So it is a condition. So you are not going to implement anything that is not within the plan.
With such upgraded infrastructure, intended stimulating economic activities and livability within the new cities and municipalities, the Local Government Finance Commission also stresses that the urban authorities must embrace new IT-based innovations.
It is 2021 financial year. That is the time when we
fully went on activating all these cities and municipalities. I told you 9 cities and 11 municipalities. We activated all of them on IRAS. Before, halfway, their collection was 26.5 billion, all the 22. But now, after 1 year of implementing IRAS, they moved from 26.5 to 32 billion. And this increment, we attribute it mostly onto the introduction of most of these strategies.
The Uganda support to municipal infrastructure development initiated what it calls 7 pillars, within which the regional 10 cities and 14 municipalities were required to ride on and should remain mandatory.
These are indicators which help you to assess the performance of an entity based on its key deliverables at the national level. For instance, one of the key requirements of a city or an authority is to collect revenue. So we have an indicator which checks whether revenue is, collection of revenue is improving. One of the things is that when you do infrastructure projects, you make sure that you don't create negative impact on the environment. So there's an indicator on environment.
Prior to the current suspension of the World Bank funding for new projects in Uganda, a new $750 million financing was being anticipated to cushion the new cities in bridging the huge road infrastructure network deficit that they face.
And Myoga Uganda Limited has empowered over 500 women and youth in the agro-food processing chains by impacting skills necessary for employment to boost their livelihoods. Myoga Uganda Limited is an agro-food processing company for export and that deals in frozen and dry foods. They export to Canada, USA, Austria, Belgium and Oman, among others.
Food processing and value addition are key steps in the food value chain and also crucial in addressing the issues of food security. Myoga Uganda Limited, an agro-food processing company established 2018 with the aim to add value on the local foods for export. The managing director of Myoga Uganda Limited, Nsababimana Eli, notes that they are committed to improve food security and meet the needs of a fast-growing population with the dream of being the leading in fresh frozen food and dry foods in the region.
We're inviting people to supply. We have a big market. We have a big opportunity. So people, they have to join us instead of the farmers. People, they are already abandoning the agriculture sector, which is not good. They are fearing about the market, but today we were here.
The agro-food processing company employs over 500 women and youths and exports 24 tons of processed food per week to Canada, USA, Belgium and Arab countries. Sabimana says that the processing plant gets its raw materials from the farmers across the country, especially those dealing in matoke, sweet potatoes, pumpkin, beans, among others. Here the foods are taken through different levels of production by observing and ensuring safety and hygiene standards. Processing plant also acts as educational facility for students and people of all walks of life to impact employable skills. Value chain actors request the government and financial institutions to support them, access funds to purchase up-to-date technologies and modern inputs to improve on the quality of their products so that they can compete favorably in the international market.
Support from government to reduce the taxes for the material we were importing from outside. For example, the machinery we were exporting from outside. We were asking government to help us to improve our capacity for production. You see, we were still in a manual system. We needed to enter in automated system for us to be competitive on the market.
Agro-processing is essential for sustained and accelerated economic growth, food security, job creation, poverty reduction. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Now, leopards in Jinja and central rhinos in Kampala continue to dominate the Bat-Ball X tournament on day 2 as they topped their respective groups to advance to the Super 4 in the tournament. Just like on day 1, Nile leopards flourished, defeating Eastern Buffaloes and Northern Elephants by 45 runs and 7 wickets respectively. Rhinos, on the other hand, came on top of their Day 2 challenges in Group A as they beat both Rwanda Emerging and Western Bulls by 1 run and 35 runs. Rwanda Emerging beat Western Bulls by 7 wickets. Rwanda Emerging and Central Rhinos will now play Nile Leopards and Eastern Buffaloes in the Super 4 round robin on Friday and Saturday. The winners of the Super 4 will play a final on Sunday the 20th at Lugogo Cricket Oval.
This tournament is more competitive compared to the one we played at first, because at this time around the organization brought us a very strong team from Rwanda, which is giving us a lot of competition, and we are learning a lot compared to the first one. Getting a lot of opportunities to play, to get the chances to play on the turf, which is not a usual thing.
The boys are playing very good cricket so far. Having them won 2 games against Western Bulls, very good experience, but again, the best experience they have gotten it from the Central Rhinos, where we lost the 2 games we played. But again, looking at the competitiveness, the brand of cricket they are playing, it's a T10, it's a short format, but again, looking at the approach, very good to have, and very good quality of cricket to have in the team.
This tournament has helped us a lot because we have learned how you can play other shots which we didn't knew in the past. I have learned that we should have self-confidence and courage and targets in our minds, such that the next day we're gonna put there more runs.
Next ball is bowled.
And the third round draw for the Dubai Desert Challenge took place at Mandela Group of Companies City Oil Petrol Station in Bakuli. Let's take a look.
Congratulations, Madame Rosette. She did her service from Nakawa branch.
Ugandans' dream of being part of this year's Dubai Desert Challenge has been boosted by Mandela Group of Companies that has hosted the third draw for winners of the trip. The 3 lucky ones from the draw have brought the tally to 9, destined for the Desert Challenge are Rosette Asimwe, Hajat Kakande and Bate Sulaman.
Today we held our third draw for the City Oil Dubai Desert Challenge, and this means we've picked another 3 winners, 1 from the taxi category and 2 from the driving category. This makes it 9 winners so far who have qualified for a fully paid trip courtesy of City Oil for 4 nights and 3 days in Dubai.
The Desert Challenge is an annual event during which the name suggests witnesses rally cars in the desert. To be part of this draw, one has to partake of several services at Mandela Group of Companies, City Oil branches across the country.
Omukisa teguliko nti kiraba nange buli ali eyo. Gwe wali omukisa woba okolera bizinensi zo. Toteeka watali mukisa bizinensi, abamu bakolera magalaji, n'ateekayo ekitaasa wansi, kati suubira nti bajja kukubira. So nze ndi musanyufu okubanga wenkolera we watuufu mu kiseera ekituufu, era mbadde mbisuubira kubanga era mba bino biteekamu kubanga inshallah bino mba mbisuubira.
Through this fun-filled draw, the Mandela Group of Companies also rewards other winners with a free drive-in catalogue and fuel worth 100,000 shillings. The 4th and final draw for this year will be held in early November, and the winners will get a taste of Dubai at the end of that month. Marsha Miro, UBC News.
Well, and that sums it up for now. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details, and we'll leave you with a weather report. Elizabeth Nakakoni on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzoi.
tuning on UBC. My name is Kutesa Milu with your weather update. We are having light thunder showers dominating most parts of the country, but across lake shores mainly and the southwestern of our country. Seeing the satellite picture, we're having a rainbow zoning the western sector of our country, including the local effects. That's what brings us in the rainfall that we are receiving lately. Tomorrow morning, though, we expect to wake up with thunder showers in most parts of the central. By in the eastern sector, we are expected to have sunny intervals across the road, but the rest with to wake up with light showers, and the western stretch with light showers across some parts of Kasese and Masindi, but the rest to have sunny intervals. Northern sector, we're having light showers dominating most parts of the Gulu, Chitugum, and some parts of the Lila, but the Karamoja regions expected to have sunny intervals. Afternoon hours, we are seeing a pickup of thunder showers still dominating the central part of our country at a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius across Nakasongola, but the rest with 27 degrees Celsius. In the eastern part, we are having 31 degrees Celsius across Salt with sunny intervals, but the rest with thunder showers at maximum 28 degrees Celsius. The western stretch, we are having a 28 maximum of Masindi with thunder showers, and some parts of Mbarara, Kasese with sunny intervals at maximum 33 degrees Celsius, and Kabale with sunny intervals still with 26 degrees Celsius. Moving to the north, we are continuing with light showers dominating most parts of Chitugumugulu and the Alua, but Lila we are seeing sunny intervals, and Karamoja region with sunny intervals at a maximum 33 degrees Celsius, and others with 32 degrees Celsius. It's moving out of Uganda to the 50s across the globe, forecasting sunny intervals across New York with a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius, and sunny conditions with Dubai and Kyle at a maximum of 40 degrees Celsius, and 36 across Kyle, Paris, and Hong Kong with cloudy conditions at a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. Thanks for tuning on UBC. I remain Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned, and we'll see you tomorrow.